This is CNN Breaking News.
We're in tonight with the president not saying something, not tweeting, not punching back. Nothing at all about Stormy Daniels.
I don't like that people like when I'm with you more than when I'm not.
Lock us up at the gates of hell and we won't back down. We will stand our ground.
Our kids breaking out in blisters.
Lock us up at the gates of hell and we won't back down. We will stand our ground. The
government and the media would rather focus on the president's tweets, scary boogeymen from Russia, instead of people being poisoned.
We were driving up and we started seeing the lines to this church here. A lot of the churches in Flint are distribution centers for free bottled water.
It's sad to see that 4 years later, we're still going through the same thing as if it happened 3 months ago.
They said, oh, your water's totally clear for lead, it's fine. There's no way for them to know that.
I really do believe that this water, from us consuming all of this stuff, that is what caused my miscarriages.
I'm all broke out. I have picked my own pictures. I'm all broke out. I'm diabetic. I have like webs. And this is from the water.
You killed his body, then you killed his name. Why are you here if you have no answer?
Eric Cherry was killed on the streets of Chicago at 16 years old. That's my grandson.
We saw 24-year-old Maurice Granton shot in the back while running for police.
Right now, there is a hunt, and black boys are the prey.
When it was communities who are mostly wealthy, mostly white, it's like the pain is felt. But with something about our communities where I see our youth having to fight, literally needing support to get the rest of the world to understand that the everyday shootings they have to see and go right back to school after their friend was killed is just as painful. Like literally having to convince society that we can't take more pain, that we can't take this no more.
Polluting the water. Since when is profit more important than water? When is profit more important than people?
Hey, it's Jordan. I'm here in Flint, Michigan. I am here on Lakeshore Drive here in Chicago. I am here live in Dallas, beautiful Virginia. Hey, it's Jordan. I'm live in Arlington, Texas. Look at this destruction. You're not going to see this anywhere. You think CNN's coming up here? Please. Yeah, if you could prove Putin cut down the trees, they'll be here in a jiffy.
Status coup. Is it now it's going to be called, is it going to be statuscoup.com?
Yes. Most people are not lacking compassion. Most people do not know what the fuck is going on. Hello. Jordan Chariton, live from New York. It is Thursday, November 29th, 2018, and quite the day indeed in the world of Russiagate and all other sensationalist nonsense news stories. So, I am here with my status coup fleece. See that badass status coup fleece? We're going to talk about that in a little bit. I see we unfortunately have a bit of a lower audience to start. Jen tells me that there's some crazy person who has chained herself to Twitter headquarters. Apparently that's getting a lot of audience on YouTube right now, so guess we'll have a bit of a smaller audience to start. I ask you humbly, please press the like button. When you press the like button on the stream, it helps get the numbers up for the likes, and then apparently YouTube's algorithm, the more likes on the page, the more that a live stream will be seen. So go hit that like button right there, down there, if you can. Andy says, oh my God, I was just watching that thanks to Jen's tweet. So Laura Loomer, honestly, I don't know much about her other than I hear she's insane. And apparently she got blocked from Twitter or suspended from Twitter. And now she has taken the civil disobedience of chaining herself to the Twitter building. So, desperate times call for desperate measures for kooky conservatives. But they're not just banning kooky conservatives. Twitter is banning progressives. Twitter and Facebook are banning anti-war voices. YouTube is suppressing anti-war progressive voices, like this channel, like Jimmy Dore, like Humanist Report. So, we can mock somebody like Laura Loomer, but they are legitimately censoring and blocking people that aren't so crazy. So those are my thoughts on Laura Loomer, who I don't know much about. Jen always sends me stuff, and I'm always like, who is that? Because I don't have time to familiarize myself with lunatics. I'm busy. So I usually don't know all the kooks and all the conspiracy theories because I don't really research or follow them. Riley says, Kumba, keep up the great actual journalism. Well, Riley, I appreciate the kind words. And we're going to have an announcement soon. I'm going to wait till the audience gets up a little bit. We're going to have a big announcement soon about that great journalism. I'm excited to announce this milestone in status quo history. Status quo, really, we launched our website in October. So we've only been going here officially as a company for a month. And boy, we already have some progress here. Andy says, of course I don't support censorship, but good riddance to her. Yes, I'll have to, after I'm live, watch her chaining herself. Chaining herself to the Twitter headquarters. But desperate times. Because whether you're a kooky conservative or progressive, in America, you're supposed to have a First Amendment. And other than, hate speech and promoting violence, you're supposed to be able to say what you think. But more and more, these outlets like Twitter, YouTube, Facebook are really just playing God with who gets to speak and who gets to not. I think kooky conservatives should be allowed to speak. As long as they're not promoting violence, which sometimes they are, what are you going to do? So press the share button also. So press the like button and press the share button. Langer, she got banned for hate speech against Muslims. Then she should have been banned. If that's the case, she should have been banned. So press the share button and press the like button and let's get going. I'm going to give you an update in a little bit. I want to let more of the audience come in. Our numbers are a little low because of people, chaining themselves to buildings and whatever else is going on in the world. So today, I've been spending most of my day trying to get more attention on our major Flint bombshell story, which Jen and I have been spending days working on getting more attention on it. We have some progress. Some people are responding to us that they might speak out, so that's a positive. But so I didn't do much other than that, but I did see the collective freak out. The collective, it's like Russiagate sometimes is dormant. Sometimes Russiagate and the new Cold War goes to sleep for a little bit, but then it explodes. So, I think around 8:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning here on the East Coast, you get a news alert that Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's former lawyer, is making a surprise appearance in federal court. And then all of a sudden, Michael Cohen to plead guilty to lying to Congress. And my first thought is, oh my God, is lying to Congress, is that actually are people being held accountable for that now in America? Is lying to Congress now illegal again? Because if Michael Cohen is going to, have problems because he lied to Congress, can we finally bring Michigan Governor Rick Snyder into court? Because he perjured himself in front of Congress. It's proven. Rick Snyder perjured himself in front of Congress. You got James Clapper lied in front of Congress. John Brennan lied in front of Congress. Condoleezza Rice, Colin Powell lied in front of Congress. Mark Zuckerberg lied in front of Congress. Brett Kavanaugh lied in front of Congress. I mean, hell, if I did the research, we could have a whole hour of people that have lied in front of Congress and just went on their way. And remember, folks, this is a super chat. So if you're feeling super, let us know here at Status Quo. And I'm going on vacation Saturday morning. So today and tomorrow are my last live streams for over a week. So if you're feeling super, if you want me to enjoy my vacation and be peaceful, let us know here in the super chat. And remember, press the like button. So all 65 people watching right now should press the like button. The more likes we get, the more the channel gets seen. So apparently, Michael Cohen lied to Congress when he said that the Trump hotel and negotiations with Russia over trying to get a Trump tower in Moscow, Michael Cohen had originally said that those negotiations and that ended, early before Trump. I think it was before Trump became a candidate. So let's take a look at the specifics here. You got President Donald Trump spoke more extensively during the presidential election with his then attorney Michael Cohen about the proposed Trump Tower project in Moscow than Cohen admitted to Congress last year. Cohen said while pleading guilty Thursday in federal court to a charge from special counsel Robert Mueller's office. Cohen, who previously said talks about the Moscow project had ended in January 2016, just prior to the Iowa caucuses, said he had lied out of a sense of obligation to Trump. I made these statements to be consistent with individual one, who is Trump, political messaging, and out of loyalty to individual one, again, Trump. Individual one was identified in court filings as Trump, and Cohen identified him as such in a New York courtroom. Cohen, who famously once declared he would take a bullet for Trump, is cooperating with Mueller and has spoken with the special counsel's office for more than 70 hours on topics beyond Moscow, a source with knowledge of the discussions told CNN. He pleaded guilty earlier this year to 8 counts in separate case, blah, 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 blah. So it seems that Michael Cohen lied to Congress. Color me surprised. It seems that Donald Trump, while running for office, and remember, Michael D. Cristofano, I could not agree with you more. And here I am on international broadcast, Michael D. Cristofano, who says Michael Moore not picking up your story is a shame, way to piss on your people. Here I am on international broadcast, publicly, officially, calling out Michael Moore. I don't know Michael Moore. I've literally never spoken to him. I've tried to get in touch with him. Jen and I have sent this story to his people, I would think like 6 or 7 times. And I know you're supposed to be diplomatic, but the time for diplomacy is over because public health is at risk in Flint. So I'm going to give Michael Moore the benefit of the doubt that he hasn't seen my tweets. He hasn't seen me tweeting at him. I definitely don't have the following he has. I'm going to give Michael Moore the benefit of the doubt that his people, that his staff, that we have emailed the story to over and over. We also have, Jen and I have a source in Flint that has a direct contact with Michael Moore, as in they have texted with each other directly. We know that source has sent our story to Michael Moore. So I want to give him the benefit of the doubt that he just doesn't know about it. But it's becoming more and more hard to believe that he doesn't know about it. And if you're new to this, our story showing that the state of Michigan basically cooked up the lead data in Flint. We knocked on 450 doors and we found that the state of Michigan illegally flushed residents' water lines right before taking lead and copper samples, which is a violation of the main EPA regulation for water testing. And when you flush the water right before you take samples, you're running the water because you're flushing the lead out. So you get a false low level. It's an incredibly major environmental scandal, and it's a major case of environmental racism, but we can't get Michael Moore to share it. Susan Sarandon has shared it. Alyssa Milano, who's a big-time actress, has shared it. Congressman Ro Khanna has shared it. Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard has shared it. We're talking to other elected officials and informing them of it. So I don't know. I don't know what Michael Moore's deal is, to tell you the truth. I really don't get it. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he doesn't know about the story, but it's becoming hard. It's becoming hard, so we'll continue trying to get a hold of Michael Moore, but if you have him on speed dial, send him the story. Jen, please put the story in the live chat and the Mediaite story so people know what we're talking about here. Andy P., you'd think that a guy who made a movie about Flint would care about this. Again, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt that he just doesn't know. But to tell you the truth, if we're keeping it real, I got to be honest, Michael Moore. You're spending a lot of time going on MSNBC. You're spending a lot of time going on Chris Hayes. You're spending a lot of time tweeting about Michelle Obama running for president. I mean, I think he's done a lot of great things for the progressive cause and getting certain issues to attention, but it is, maybe a little less camera time and a little more, get this story out. This is your people. You were the man of Flint. Jesus Christ almighty. Anyway, back to this. So, when I read this story, I mean, I'm sorry. I know I was attacked already on Twitter for saying this, but like, what is it about Michael Cohen lying to Congress about that he and Trump were basically still trying to negotiate this hotel in Moscow during the campaign? And remember, yes, and by the way, at Michael Moore, all of you, at Michael Moore, send him that Mediaite story. Maybe he'll pay attention when he sees celebrities are tweeting about it. So all of you on a rush at Michael Moore right now with our Mediaite story. Let's get the status quo army going, baby. So it's been widely reported that Donald Trump thought he was going to lose the election. So is anyone surprised that thinking he was going to lose the election, he sleazily was still trying to get a hotel deal in Russia? I get what they're saying as far as, well, if he was negotiating and trying to get this hotel deal in Russia, then it could sway his proposals and his policies as a candidate, and also the Republican, at the RNC, the Republican platform, where they changed the language on Ukraine. But I mean, my God, watching CNN, you would think Richard Nixon just resigned today. Watching CNN, you would think that they released the tapes of Nixon during Watergate. I don't get it. Do you get it? Does anybody get it? So they're making it seem like this is the smoking gun. This is the smoking gun in Russiagate. Michael Cohen lying to Congress about Trump still trying to land the hotel in Moscow during the campaign, which, by the way, is the least shocking thing I've ever heard. I'm not saying it's right. He shouldn't have been doing that. Frankly, if you're running for office, you shouldn't be trying to land real estate deals with foreign governments if you're running to be president. I totally agree with that, and it is problematic. But what does this have to do with collusion? No, I'm not giving an opinion. I'm really asking you, the audience. Can somebody tell me, what does this have to do with collusion? I don't get it. Michael says, mainstream media would rather talk about Russiagate rather than a potential Ukrainian war. Like what? Edward says, Jank jizzed himself. Jank did something to himself already over this story. I don't watch my former boss often. Actually, I never do. But that doesn't surprise me. Let's just say Jank has been a little excitable over the last 2 years over all things Russia. All things Russia. I would say Jank and the Young Turks, they definitely have jumped on this Russiagate train, shall we say. Yeah. And those that aren't on the Russiagate train seem to be... I won't go further. Never mind. Oh, boy. Sometimes I have a good time. Oh, my God, I can't even wait till Rachel Maddow tonight. She might have a coronary live on air over this. And remember, folks, this is a super chat. This is a super chat. I see no one feeling super today, and it's making me feel sad. But what I don't understand, I'm trying to get it. I'm really trying to understand this. Okay, so Michael Cohen lies in front of Congress. Not surprising that, of course, it's newsworthy that he lied to Congress. And he lied that Trump was still dealing with Russia on the hotels. trying to get a hotel. Kimberly S. Hey, are you and Aaron Matei joining forces? He left The Real News. Yeah, I heard about that. I tweeted today about Aaron Matei leaving The Real News. I really like him. I really like him a lot. Are we joining forces? I haven't spoken with him, but I'm a big fan of Aaron Matei. We don't necessarily have funding right now to hire anyone, but I really like him, so just saying. I love Aaron Matei. I think he's one of the few good interviewers out there with a brain. He's very poised. His style is very poised, but aggressive too. Dr. Truth. Matta will be pregnant by 11 o'clock. Oh, Jesus. Well, congratulations to Rachel then, right? But yeah, I like Aaron. I hope he does big things. I'm curious to see what he does. So what is Trump still talking to Russia about the hotel have to do with the quote unquote hacking of the Democratic National Committee and John Podesta and the quote unquote collusion with the Trump campaign and the Russian government? What does that have to do? Propaganda. Do you have inside sources on that as far as Aaron Matei, or that's just your opinion? I don't get it. What does it have to do with collusion? Because people on Twitter today, when I pointed that out, they were saying, well, the investigation is not over, Jordan. So why are you making it seem like this is a big nothing? Yeah, it's not over, but at some point, folks, if Robert Mueller had any hard evidence of collusion, why would he be starting? What would be with all these breadcrumbs before? Usually, if you have hard evidence of some type of collusion or criminal coordination between a foreign government and a political campaign, yeah, you could go after smaller fish first. But I mean, it's been 2 years now, so. Fiasco, why are you, don't announce it for me. I was going to announce it. I was just waiting for more people to show up. Fiasco Hallow. You blew up my spot, God damn it. But I love you anyway. Diana, thank you for the $10, starting us in the super chat today. Thank you, Diana. Keep it coming in the super chat. And we're going to have other news, too, about our finances. So, I got to tell you something. I don't think it's a good thing that Michael Cohen lied to Congress. I think it is a rather big deal that Donald Trump was trying to do real estate deals while he was running for office, because obviously if you're trying to do real estate deals with Russia, most people would think that you might be favorable to Russia as president. So if you're running as a candidate, negotiating with Russia for a deal in Moscow for one of your hotels, most people would think that would kind of make you itty tiny bitty indebted to Russia as president, and you would make policy favorable to Russia rather than the American people. And yes, like the video. Everybody, you got to get it in your mind for the status quo checklist. When you join this live stream, you got to press the like button. Because YouTube's algorithm works that if there's more likes on a live stream, then then more people see it and are able to join it. So press the like button. Everybody, right, like. So I don't get it. I don't understand. What is the smoking gun? Because CNN, it's like Richard. It's like they dug up Richard Nixon out of his grave, and it's now surpassed Watergate on CNN and MSNBC today. So I don't know. I don't know what more to say. I think that this is not a nothing burger, but it's not evidence. It's not evidence of anything criminal. Like, if Trump was still trying to make a deal with Russia while he was running for candidate, I'm not going to lie, I didn't have a lot of time today to look into it, but as far as I know, there's no crime against that. There's no crime against the businessman still doing real estate deals with a foreign government while he's running for president. I mean, there would be a crime if he was making promises to that government in return for them opening up one of his I think it would be kind of criminal if he was making promises that I'll give you something as president if you open up this hotel. But that would be, if that's the case, if that's what they're getting at, that would be really moving the bar from Donald Trump's campaign, worked with the Russian government to hack John Podesta's emails, to hack the DNC emails and distribute them through WikiLeaks. Because as far as I know, I was on the campaign trail, that was the original charge. And I'm sure, the Young Turks and some others are going to be out of their mind today and screaming, mission accomplished, we got him. But I don't get it. I don't see it, and I don't get it. It seems to me that this is Michael Cohen's in trouble for lying to Congress, but I don't know how is this connected to the criminal Cold War 3.0 criminal collusion between Donald Trump's campaign and Robert Mueller and Russia. Because I'm not against, if there's actual facts and evidence that Trump's campaign worked with the Russian government, I'd like to know. I've always been, let's see the evidence. I say be careful what you wish for, because Donald Trump being impeached gives you President Mike Pence, who's just as evil as Donald Trump. He might sound nicer than Donald Trump, but he's just as evil, and more importantly, he's a hell of a lot more competent, and he could get a lot more regressive, horrendous, evil bills made into laws as a President Pence. That's for shit sure. So that's the story. I mean, there's nothing to add other than I don't see what the big hoo-ha-ha is. I think that Michael Cohen lied to Congress. Check. Color me not surprised. Donald Trump was still trying to get Trump Tower opened in Moscow while he was running for office, because he really wasn't running for president to win the presidency. Literally, reports are that the night of the election, Melania Trump was crying because nobody thought this man was going to become president, including himself. Thank you, Steady Drummer, 1999. Party like it's 1999 on the Super Chat. Thank you very much. So, I have an announcement to make. Now that we're off of that ridiculous topic, I have an announcement to make. We have passed the halfway mark on our status coup GoFundMe. It is a revolutionary moment in the history of status coup. $25,000, folks, from 445 people. I did not think we were going to hit this mark when we launched this in the middle of when did we launch this? The middle of September. I mean, I thought we would reach 25,000 at some point, but I didn't think we'd reach it by the end of November. Ken Klavanuk put us over the top there. We had an anonymous donor before him that got us closer, and then Ken put us at $100 over $25,000, folks. And I got to tell you, I'm really kind of at a loss. And part of me is not at a loss, because I want to give you a little behind the scenes. Here. So in December, January, February, so December of last year and December of last year and then January, February of this year, obviously, I had been let go from the Young Turks, and I was a little depressed and trying to figure out my life and things like that. So I started meeting with some people I knew in the media in New York, not to try and get jobs, because I didn't want to work in corporate media. Jordan, you'll get hypoxia with those party whistles. You're right. It does kind of take a lot out of my lungs. I should be careful. Stop giving me so much money and I won't. No, keep giving me that much money. And I had a couple conversations with people where I told them exactly what my vision was, and I told them exactly what my plan was. And obviously Jen was a part of that too. It wasn't just my plan; it was our vision, because Jen co-founded this company with me, and she's the president of the company. And I would say to them, yeah, I want to go interview, poison people in Flint and elsewhere. I want to go cover pipelines. I want to go cover environmental genocide. I want to go cover corruption on the local and state level. I want to go cover police brutality, economic oppression towards minorities. I want to cover pretty much everything that's being ignored by you fuckers in the corporate media. And I literally said that to him. And very condescendingly, he said, oh, that's a really nice concept, but you're never going to make any money doing that. People won't watch that. People aren't going to pay money for that. Because I'm not picking on this guy. He's one of many. They live in a bubble. They live in a bubble in New York and DC and the East Coast or California. Well, I told him, actually, no. I mean, when I was at the Young Turks, the TYT Politics channel, that when I started at TYT, the TYT Politics channel had just launched. I think it had 2,000 subscribers. And in less than a year, we got it to 140,000 subscribers. And frankly, as humbly as I could say it, I did. I got it that far, covering exactly the long list I just told you. And then they did a fundraising campaign for more reporting like that, and they raised $2 million. So maybe people do want to pay for that. Maybe people will pay for real journalism. And I think we have our answer here, folks. Obviously, this is not the end of the story. This is not the end of our fundraising goal. You see right there, our goal is $50,000 for this GoFundMe. So there's a huge battle to come to get there. And we will get there. We will get there, whether we have to fight, crawl, beg, borrow. We won't steal, but we will beg and borrow. Well, no, we won't borrow either. We'll beg. But people are answering that jerk-off for me and for us. And it's not just the GoFundMe, folks. It's not just the GoFundMe. It's the Super Chat. We just launched paid membership. We just launched paid membership for Status Coup, where you could go to our website right now and become a paid member and get great behind-the-scenes content. I'm about to show you one of the new behind-the-scenes clips that you'll get as a member. So we're starting to, I don't want to say we're firing on all cylinders here, but we're really starting to show that people are willing to support real journalism, the kind that, frankly, just doesn't give a fuck and is fearless. And that's not me not giving a fuck. That's not me being fearless. That's us, Status Coup. Because Jen don't give a fuck, Ty don't give a fuck, and people we might be talking to soon about jumping on board don't give a fuck. So I want to really, really thank you to the 445 people who got us there. And I wish we could say, hey, let's take a break. And, don't fund us going forward. But if you want a grassroots revolution, you can never, never stop. So our business model is not GoFundMe, but we are not going to stop. We are not going to stop until we hit that $50,000 mark. So today, for the rest of this live stream, we have a little promotion. So every single person that donates to our GoFundMe while we're live, even if you've already donated, every single person that donates to our GoFundMe live, probably going to be live for another 40 minutes maybe, $10 or more. $10 or more. Number one, you're going to get a special edition Status Coup sticker that is being designed right now, and we're going to send you that sticker. Put it where you want. But number two, if you donate that $10, with that donation, you must, it's a requirement of this promotion, you must write a comment. You must write a comment with your donation. And at the end of this live stream, I'm going to go through every single person who donated $10 or more, I'm going to read each comment live, and I am going to choose the best comment, whether it's the most heartfelt, whether it's the most funny, whether it's the most real, whether it's the most authentic, whatever. Each one of you that donate $10 right now, while we're live, you're getting a sticker, and whichever comment I think is the best, you're getting a status quo fleece for the winter. And let me tell you something. This fleece is badass. I sleep in it sometimes. I wanted to give mine away as part of this promotion, but Jen wouldn't let me. She said I need it for the winter. Cohen, well, shoot, I want a fleece. Hey, Cohen, you should donate. And we're about to show your video, by the way. So, there you have it, folks. $10 gets you a sticker and write a comment, and you might win this fleece. Not this fleece, but a new one. Oh, Jen, look at that. I said people might want my fleece, and somebody said, do we get your fleece? Maybe people did want my fleece, Jen. And by the way, these fleeces are not cheap. So we're going to get you a fleece. You're going to get a status quo fleece. For $10, you're getting a sticker and a chance. But you have to write a comment. If you don't write a comment, you're not eligible. So I hope you start donating, folks. Let's get that going. Now, before I move on to the next story, I also throw in that hat, beloved. Before I turn to the next story, I also want to show you another special clip that's just for members. So I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'm going to show you a clip that's just for members. So first, I want to show you the brand new edition of This Is Your Brain on corporate media. If you've been following, we've been doing these special videos that show you the ridiculous stuff the corporate media says and covers versus real reporting that we do. It's a funny little video that's also kind of sad sometimes based on what we report, but it shows you the alternate reality that corporate media puts forward and the actual reality of what we're doing. So I'm going to play you the new one, and then we're going to show you behind the scenes of making those videos. Here we go.
You weren't there last night. You plan to go to one of these things?
I want to. After watching the 2 minutes I just saw from Kate, it seems like it was a great event. It's always funny watching them together.
My goodness, you know, your gut is not the answer to everything that is important in the world. I'm sorry.
I can't sleep. I mean, probably on a good day, I probably get 4 hours of sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm losing weight. I go through a lot of stress, you know, since it happened.
What happens when you try to sleep?
I see it over and over and over the video. That's why it was so easy for me to sit there and watch this video like that, because I see it every night. I see it every day in my head. I just don't wish this upon nobody else. Nobody else. Nobody's sons, no daddies, no fathers, nobody. I don't wish this upon nobody to sit and watch somebody that's close to you get their life taken for nothing.
Still gets me every time watching that. If you're unfamiliar with that story, as part of the GoFundMe that you guys were so generous to contribute to, Ty and I went down to Dallas to cover the murder of Botham John. Botham John was a 26-year-old black man. He was hanging out in his apartment on September 6th, 2018, when a white police officer intruded into his apartment and shot him dead. We went down to Dallas to cover that. While we were down there, I wasn't aware of this story until I got down there, but there was another black man that was murdered just 5 days before Botham John. His name was O'Shea Terry. O'Shea Terry was a 23-year-old, I believe. Was he 20? I think he was 23 or 24, excuse me. And he was driving with his friend in the passenger seat. His friend in the passenger seat was that gentleman, Terrence Harmon. And O'Shea Terry was pulled over for a expired registration. The registration was expired by 2 days. 2 police officers pulled him over. The initial police officer that spoke with him was relatively calm and professional. When she went back to her vehicle to enter O'Shea Terry's information into the police car and whatever, the other police officer said, "We're going to have to check your vehicle because it smelled of marijuana." O'Shea Terry began to drive away without permission. I said while I was down there, Ty said while he was down there, he shouldn't have driven away. I mean, that's obviously the wrong thing to do, but driving away from police is not supposed to mean a death sentence. So as he was driving away from the police officer, which, call me crazy, but I think if you're driving away, there's no harm, there's no threat to the police officer. The police officer literally jumped on the car and shot inside execution style 5 times and killed O'Shea Terry. So O'Shea Terry was murdered by this police officer for driving away. And, you know, conservatives and jerk-offs will say, well, he disobeyed and didn't follow police orders. Yeah, well, if you think of a white guy drove away from police, they would have jumped on the car and shot inside and killed him. Maybe they would call it in like they're supposed to, and a chase would ensue. So thank you to Colin for that great video. And now, as part of being a member to Status Coup, so this is different than the GoFundMe. This is our long-term business model. So we're trying to grow our membership. Right now, we have 23 members. And we just launched membership, so the numbers are low. But if you go to statuscoup.com and you click on Become a Member, you'll see the offerings here. And you could become a member at the Status Slayer level, which will get you free. You'll get the podcasts with Ty and I, as well as my individual podcasts. You'll get video diaries from me and sometimes Jen and Ty. You'll get a members-only email newsletter, which is going to include original reporting and report stories that you've never heard of that the media is not covering, with my analysis. For $5 more, so $10, you could be a CUDA champion. You get the podcast, you get the behind-the-scenes video diaries, you get that email newsletter. You'll also be invited to a monthly video call with me, not on YouTube, but a private video call, where we'll talk about whatever you want, Q&A, ideas. I'll give you a lot of the behind-the-scenes and tell you things Jen will get angry at me for telling you. You'll also get behind-the-scenes content from us in the field reporting, and you'll also get bonus content for our documentaries. Ty is getting the finishing touches on the Flint documentary that we're going to release in December. So you can go right now, click on Become a Member at $5 a month or $10 a month. We tried to keep it simple, and you get access to new content. And one of those new videos I'm going to show you some of right now. This is Colin Tooley. Now, Colin Tooley, let me give you a little behind the scenes here. Colin Tooley was with me and Jen at our nonprofit before this, Truth Against the Machine. He did video editing for us there. He has always worked for us at a very, very, very affordable rate because we can't really afford to pay him what he deserves, frankly, because Colin Tooley is a progressive and he's a good guy and he believes in our vision and he believes in what we're doing. So Colin, when I was let go from the Young Turks, right when I came back, not as Status Coup, but just launched my own individual YouTube channel, Colin edited my videos on my YouTube channel. This was before Ty came on board, and he basically edited my videos every single day, essentially for free. Like, I paid him a little bit, but it might as well have been for free. So Colin, I got service from Colin that normally I'd have to pay a lot of money to a professional editor to edit, what was he editing? 4 or 5 videos a night? And Colin has been editing back then, Colin was editing these videos literally after his full-time job. So he's got a full-time job during the day, and then he would go home, try to spend time with his wife, and then be up till 2 or 3 in the morning editing these videos. Not because, he he was getting paid a lot, but because he just believes in what we're doing. And I've told him this, and if he's listening now, like, if we ever get the money, I want to bring him on full time. Because Colin, it's not just, we don't just want people that are talented, which he is, we want people that buy into our vision and bleed our vision. So Colin has been cutting these cool This Is Your Brain on Corporate Media videos. So I asked him to just do a behind the scenes video while he's cutting it to show you what goes into the idea for how he chooses which segments to cut, and show you the editing process. We really want to show you the behind the scenes. We want members to see not the finished product, but not just the finished product, but how these things come to be. So here, I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm not going to play the whole thing, and that's Colin T. That's who I'm talking about. So say thank you to him. I'm not going to show you the whole thing because we're going to tease you to become a member, but here's some of it.
Hey guys, Status Coup members. My name is Colin Tooley. I'm sort of the mini editor here at Status Coup. I've been here since the beginning of the sort of inception of Status Coup, essentially. So I bring you this video sort of going over the Your Brain on Corporate Media video and sort of how that came about and what goes into that. So we'll pull this up here. So I just want to go over this and Jordan's idea for it and sort of just basically go over it. And since I saw Ty's video, I figured I'd real quick also do this. Since I did that sort of mini introduction to myself, here's also my workspace, just so I can show off that too, how messy that is. So, and you can see I'm working on now and was then the Your Brain and Corporate Media video. So this was basically an idea that Jordan had come up with, where he wanted to basically show the corporate media and sort of the different things that they go over on a day-to-day basis and compare it to what he covers and wants to cover in the field if everything gets funded and all that different things. And he originally wanted me to watch the news essentially every day and find different clips from it that could be used, but it's actually turned out to be a lot simpler than that. All I do now is I just go to the websites here. CNN and MSNBC are the two easiest ones, but I'll probably check out some other ones later, and I can just scroll through and click on some random video, and it'll probably be something ridiculous like the clip I found for today, which ended up being this clip from MSNBC of them basically just talking about the Clintons and their tour they have going on, and spoiler alert, the Clintons don't like Trump. Whoa, and so they have a little bit of a giggle about that. And so I decided to contrast that with Jordan's reporting over here on the murder where the drivers start to drive off during a traffic stop, and in response the cop fired, I think it was 4 shots into the guy and killed him right there. And then his friend right here was just dropped off at the nearest gas station essentially and left to figure out how to get home. So basically just contrasting those two clips, especially this is the part where he's very broken up and stuff like that. So it's really, because I don't necessarily watch much media on TV. I don't watch TV too much. And so like, I thought this was a great idea, especially considering, like, I remember specifically one instance where I was editing a video from one of Jordan's live streams, and he played a video where I think it was wherever Morning Joe is on, and they were talking about this specific subject on Trump. And so I was like, okay, I'll go find that video, because I didn't know the title of the video. So I went to the website and looked, and for the next, I think it was at minimum just on the front page, about 7 or 8 videos out of 9 or 10 videos were all Trump related. And so Jordan talks about it all the time, how that's all the media talks about and cares about. And so I realized that that's not exaggerating. That's literally all that was on there. And I went through all those videos, and I don't think any of them were even the clip that he had. It was something buried even deeper than those of even more Trump videos that they had. And so I think it's important to show this sort of, because even this thing talking about the Clintons is related to Trump, and this specific clip is them making fun of Trump, the Clintons and stuff like that. So everything is about Trump, and so it's very important to sort of show this contrast. And so when people really see, especially when these videos stack up over and over again, and we have a whole library of all these corporate media compared to what Jordan does, it'll start to realize not only how bad the corporate media is if you're like me and don't watch it very often, but you also start to realize how much Jordan is able to do with just a little bit. He did all of these clips that I'm using, you know, what was it, like $8,000 ago on GoFundMe. We just now hit the halfway point or are about to. And so with that little bit of GoFundMe, he was able to do however many trips that was, break the Flint story, etc. And he wants to finish that GoFundMe and build up the membership so he can continually do those trips. So imagine what that's going to be with your guys' support that you've already done, how much he's going to be able to do that the media just doesn't do. I watched this clip and it was just them kept bringing people on talking about the Clintons and different things like that. Granted, the first person at least was somewhat critical, sort of, but they cut away from her to this guy who's not critical at all. So, yeah, and as on a more technical note, if you guys had seen my first video for this, it was just the regular brain that opened up and it was pretty simple animation, and so I was going to go and make it nice and pretty, and so Jordan had the idea to give it all sizzly and smoky, like it was being roasted or something like that. So that's how that came about, was Jordan's idea. So I'll probably touch it up some more a little bit later and add some more centralized graphics and stuff on this so that everything on here matches this sort of first thing of this sort of brain.
That's not the whole video, folks. That's not the whole video. I hate to cut off Colin, but that's called a tease. That's called a tease in the business. We want you to become paid members to Status Coup. So you could see that full video. You could see Jen's full video from yesterday. You could see Ty's full video from yesterday, and you could see my full video from yesterday, where we, Jen, myself, did videos taking you behind the scenes of everything we're doing to try to get this Flint story more attention and get picked up in the media, and some of the straight up awful discussions we've had with politicians about this to try and get them to lift a fucking finger for the people in Flint. Politicians are awful. Politicians are awful. GTA, I'm sure YouTube throttles his channel. Should have way more subs and views. You would be correct. They are indeed doing that, and I just emailed them again yesterday. But that's a different story for a different day. But yeah, we want to grow our paid membership. So the bottom line is, hey, everybody's got a budget. You know, you got certain amount of money for food, certain amount of money for rent, electricity, daycare, whatever your situation is, you know? So I understand for those that even $5 a month is too much. We're not trying to exclude people. Obviously, if you can't become a paid member, you're still gonna, you know, my live streams are obviously free on a daily basis. And all we ask, if you can't contribute financially, is, of course, press that like button when you join the live stream. Share the videos as much as you can. Make it a habit to word of mouth. Honestly, even in this digital environment, word of mouth really makes a difference. If you tell your friends, if you tell your family, you tell people that are into politics that might be progressive, but because YouTube doesn't actually show our channel, they might not even know it exists. I mean, just look at me going on Jimmy Dore's show. Jimmy was nice enough to have me on again. Just from going on Jimmy's show, I can't tell you how many new people we have in that had no idea. It wasn't that they were making the choice not to subscribe to Status Coup. That choice was made for them because they didn't know it existed. Jen, how many comments have we gotten from new people coming into the live stream saying, oh my God, I just subscribed. I didn't know you guys were here. That's because YouTube is basically creating caves of progressive media where you can't see them, where, you know, so all we could do is keep going and keep trucking along. But the bottom line is, to do what we want to do, I love Jimmy Dore. I love Kyle Kalinske. I love Mike from the Humanist Report. Love Jamal Thomas. Love Lee Camp. But I'm going to keep it real for a minute. This is nothing about them. I'm just about to give you a basic reality of the situation here. We have a higher bar than them as far as finances. So they might, in the beginning, when they're building their studio and things like that, I don't know, they needed money for equipment and things like that. But generally speaking, when all of that is there, they just go live and they make money on YouTube and Patreon and other ways. We have a higher bar because we actually want to, not that it's bad that they're not doing this. Everybody does their own thing. I think there's definitely an important place for commentary, from home. But we have a higher bar because we're trying to go out in the field and report and expose the oligarchy and expose environmental genocide and literally hand the microphone to the people. We want to give the microphone back to the people. That's not just our slogan. That's truly what we want to do. And that costs money. I'll tell you the truth. And the average trip, if Ty and I want to go somewhere right now, it could cost you for a couple days between flights, hotels, rent a car, all that. It could cost you between $2,000 and $3,000, like easy, just at the root. Down the road, we might figure out some type of situation for cars, because vehicles are expensive. Rent-a-cars between the actual car, but then the full insurance on the car. A rent-a-car for a week could cost you close to $1,000 right there. So we might want to get a status quo mobile, so to speak, but that's down the road. But long term, how we're going to grow this business is through paid membership. And what does that mean? It's not just about the money that is provided through paid membership. It's also about, we want to go to larger funders. I know I've heard some people say, well, why didn't you make a collective? Why didn't you do the business certain ways? This is why. Because frankly, I'm just keeping it real, I don't trust other people's vision. And I'm at a point in my career where I'm going to execute on my vision and Jen's vision, and I don't want to deal with other people. So, bottom line, to grow a business long term, and then to get larger funding, because we are reaching out to get potential larger funding sources, partnerships, sponsorship deals. If we could show them, hey, we already have this structural support. We have X amount of paid members with the paid Patreons. We're not excluding the Patreon subscribers. We have nearly 400. You don't have to do anything, Patreon. You could stay a patron. This is for people that aren't patrons. We want people to become members. I read your text. I'm about to get to that, Jen. Jen, she's always interrupting me when I'm on a roll. So the bottom line is this. You support us with whether it's $5 a month, whether it's $10 a month. Let me tell you what's in it for you. What's in it for you? Is there corruption in your community? Is there people in your community that are literally being starved? That are literally going hungry? That are going cold? That are being falsely imprisoned? That are being laid off through criminal or unjust means? Is there a pipeline that's being put up in your community and going through your water? Is there a local official, congressman from where you are, a senator who's corrupt and bought off, but the local media where you are is bought off and corrupt? So they're not going to do anything. They don't cover it. And that congressman or that senator where you're from just continues to screw you. Is there water contamination issues where you are? Are black people being assassinated where you are? I assume as progressives you care about that kind of thing. I ask you this not as a public service announcement. I ask you this because, listen, I'm one person, but our goal to create status quo and broaden status quo is to have an army, not of me's, because one is enough. I don't want to hurt the world with more than one of me. The goal is to descend across this country, not just bloviate from where we live, and to come to where you are. I can't promise that I'm going to be able to cover every single story you want me to. I can't promise that I'm going to be able to answer every single email, because I get a lot from viewers. I do read them. I can't promise that I'm going to be able to answer every one. I can't promise that we could be in 200 places at once. I can't promise that we're going to break a story every single day. But I could promise you one thing. We are going to fight this status quo. We are going to fight it for you. I have no interest in sitting and having tea and playing patty cakes with special interest donors. I have no interest from taking funding from the very oligarchs and groups that are destroying this country and this planet. I would rather get out of media than ever do that. And save this video and hold me accountable, just like I tell you to hold everybody else accountable. But I've always said, and I said this to Jen from day one, this company is not going to succeed if I am the face of this company. It's not because there's anything wrong with me. We need to have more than one face. We need to have an army of reporters long term. We need to have an army of producers. We need to have an army of Jens. Because Jen's doing the job of 20 people right now. And frankly, I'm a little worried that she's going to have a breakdown at some point, mentally and physically. So when you wonder, why is he talking about money so much? Why is he talking about money so much? You think I'm going to the casino? We're already showing you what we're going to spend the money on. We've been out into the field with this GoFundMe 3 times, and we'd like to go a 4th time, but we're trying to raise a little bit more before we do that. I gotta, listen, there's realities. I gotta pay Ty. I gotta pay Jen. I'm not taking money. I mean, I've taken very little money. Jen could put it in the live stream for you. I haven't taken a lot of money. I'm pretty much living off my very, very limited savings. But the bottom line is, if you want to know what you're going to get for that $5 a month, if you want to know what you're going to get for that $10 a month, you are going to get, to the best of my human ability, and the best of Jen's human ability, and the best of Ty's human ability, and the best of whoever joins us, because I'm not going to get into detail about it, but we are having discussions with certain individuals. I'll leave it at that. We are having discussions with certain individuals to see if there's a way we could bring them on, not full-time, we don't have the funding, but in some capacity. But here's the deal. What are you going to get for this? Truth and reality. Uncensored, raw, authentic, and aggressive. Yes, you're going to get the behind-the-scenes content. Yes, you're going to get some bonus material. Yes, we're going to do monthly video calls for the $10 level. Yes, we're going to do a monthly newsletter, and you're going to get all those things. But it's a bigger concept than what content you're going to get. It's a bigger concept than what content you're going to get. I think the most important thing you're going to get is you're going to get effort for real news. Let me tell you something, and Jen can tell you in the live chat, and by the way, we're trying to buy a program where Jen could Skype in live with me, so I don't have to keep referring. Well, Jen could tell you in the live chat. I'd like to bring her on. I'd like to bring Ty on sometimes. But do you know how many times a day Jen and I text back and forth? With the common denominator of our text is this: I can't believe how awful and evil these people are. I'm talking about the corporate media. I cannot fathom. I've literally, in the last 2 days, sent the Flint story. I was up at 7 in the morning both days, and I started emailing morning editors to all the blogs and websites to start writing articles at 8 in the morning Eastern, because the best time to catch them is 8 in the morning Eastern. That's when they're looking for news. To try and get them to write this. I've gotten 2 responses, and one of them is, yeah, we'll try to cover this when we get a chance. So I wrote back very respectfully, when's that chance going to be? When all of Flint is dead? I know I'm not that diplomatic sometimes. By the way, part of why it's so critically important, for those of you asking, why do I keep talking about money? Why it's so critically important that we grow our paid membership, and Jen is putting the link in there, is not just because, like, yeah, I need to eat, and Jen needs to eat, and Ty needs to eat, and people we bring on board need to eat. We are up against unprecedented corporate censorship. I said to Jen when I kind of came out of hibernation in March, I didn't deal with this at the Young Turks. I did not deal with this kind of YouTube censorship and suppression where people don't even see your live streams, or how many people just came into this live stream saying I didn't get notified. So as a business model, it is important that we grow our paid support from our audience. Kelly, we are thinking of interns, but right now we can't take on a gazillion interns because we don't have enough staff to oversee interns. And I don't want to just bring on interns if they don't get anything out of it. Jen can't handle 10 interns right now, and I can't manage interns right now. Jen's doing the job of 20 people, and I'm doing the job of 20 people. So, yes, we want interns, but we need more actual staff first. Diana, I didn't get a notification. So that's what you get. You get a media company that gives a damn. You get a news outlet that is literally exists to hand a microphone to you. I said to Jen, I want to start doing when I get back from vacation, I want to start interviewing viewers via Skype and playing it during the live streams. Just interviewing viewers. Tell me what's going on in your community. Tell me your story. We're not doing this for our health, folks. We are doing this because I've been out into the country now for 3 years. I've been to 35 states/cities, and literally this country is one big corrupt mafia-style bowl of misery for 95% of people. Boo Fry, the GoFundMe is at, you just got here, we have passed $25,000. We're still at $25,000 and $25,000 and a dollar. And just for today, our promotion for GoFundMe, if you donate more than $10 during this live stream, you get a sticker, and you have to write a comment. So write a comment with your GoFundMe contribution of $10 or more. And at the end of the live stream, I'm going to read the best comments, and whoever is the best comment, gets a fleece just like this. So that's where we're at with GoFundMe. We're halfway to our goal, but we can't stop now. But right now I'm talking about membership. And trust me, folks, trust me when I say, and Jen could tell you this because this is not my specialty, talking about money. I would love to not have to talk about money during our live streams. I would love to not talk for 10 minutes about trying to get you to become a paid member. And I would love not to have to each time talk about GoFundMe. But the truth is, if we don't raise money, we don't have a company. That's the truth. If we don't have a company, you have no media. Because frankly, if we're keeping it real, is there any media outlets out there that want to go to Flint right now? Or want to go to the Bayou Bridge pipeline fight? Is there any media out there that wants to go talk to Amazon workers on the ground and expose the Hunger Games working conditions at Amazon? Because we want to, and we're trying to get in touch with Amazon workers right now. Any media companies out there that want to get on the ground right now and, go to West Virginia and cover the opioid epidemic? I mean, literally, people are dying as I'm live in West Virginia right now. I don't know what your name is, but your comment is right. If we pay you, you work for us. If special interests pay you, you work for them. I'd rather pay you directly. Literally, that is literally the case. I don't want to work for anyone but the audience. Period. So that's my pitch, folks. That's my pitch. I'm going to pitch you every single day on becoming a member. Endo, that's fine. Like I said, if you're already a Patreon subscriber, you don't have to do anything if you don't want to. Our preference for people that are not Patreon subscribers is to become a paid member to our website. And the reason is simple. Just like YouTube, just like Facebook, just like Twitter, we don't want to run a business, we don't want to grow a business relying on third-party platforms. So Patreon, although it's good right now, Patreon is a third-party platform. They also take a significant cut as a percentage of the money. So we would prefer people sign up as members to our website so we control it. And if one day something goes bad with Patreon, or they increase the percentage they take, or anything like that, we don't have to worry about it because we have a vibrant membership at our website, which we control. And the processor to our website takes less than Patreon. So that's the truth. So that's my pitch to you. I hope you'll go right now. If you become a member, you get to see all the member content right then and there. So thank you for listening to that, and thank you for considering it. Because honestly, at the end of the day, folks, if you want to create a media revolution, it's we need to create the media revolution. Not me, and not Jen, and not Ty. We got to do it. There's a lot of outlets out there that claim to be progressive. There's a lot of outlets out there that claim to be fighting the man and fighting the oligarchy and fighting the government and fighting and fighting, fighting. And they're doing it from the confines of their very, very nice studio while they bitch and moan all day long and rant about Trump and Russia. I don't need to name names. I think you get what I'm saying. There's multiple outlets out there that claim to be progressive, but frankly, proof's in the pudding as far as what they cover. I think Donald Trump is a menace. I think Donald Trump is dangerous. I think Donald Trump needs to be covered. I cover him here and there, but I don't think Donald Trump is the main source of America's ills. I think Donald Trump is a symptom. Donald Trump is a symptom of a greater disease, and that's why Donald Trump became president. And part of that is because we don't have media in this country that pays attention to the disappearing middle class, who right now, if you look at the people who just got laid off by General Motors, it's a dead fucking carcass out there of the middle class, as Chris Hayes says. So that's it, folks. That's my membership push. I hope you'll consider becoming a member. Jen will put it in one more time. $5 a month or $10 a month. One level you get a little bit more, but $5 a month is great too. And we're going to be adding, and as we grow the membership, we could bring on more people to then, ideally I would like somebody totally separate from Jen to run paid membership and be in charge of the content so Jen could focus on other areas of the business. And also, long term, we want Jen to focus on journalism too. Jen is a great journalist, and we want her to be able to do journalism too, and not just focus on the business end. But right now, we're trying to grow a business, so she's a trooper. And that's it, folks. That's the membership thing. And to those of you that came late, we have passed $25,000. I am so super excited and appreciative of that. And right now, Linda is in the lead. Linda is the only person, after I gave that promo for $10, who has donated those $10. So Linda right now, if nobody else donates $10 to the GoFundMe, Linda is by default going to get that fleece. So we'll see. We'll see, Linda. We'll see if anyone wants to challenge you, or if they're going to be like, the so-called progressives and let Nancy Pelosi run uncontested for Speaker of the House. So let's cover something else, because I got to tell you something. It's truly stunning to me. This story. So Politico ran a story today titled, "Did someone plant a story tying Paul Manafort to Julian Assange?" Okay. So did someone plant a story tying Paul Manafort to Julian Assange? And before I read the story, we should point out that literally 2 days later, The Guardian's report that says Paul Manafort and Julian Assange met in 2016, right when Paul Manafort joined the Trump campaign. Literally, no one has verified, no other outlet has independently confirmed the Guardian's story. CNN, NBC, New York Times, Washington Post, they're trying to confirm it, but they have not been able to confirm it, which, aside from WikiLeaks' strong denial, challenging the Guardian to a $1 million duel, saying, if you could prove that these meetings happened, we'll give you $1 million. That's from WikiLeaks. Right now, there's basically a story up alleging this major bombshell meeting with one high-level anonymous source and no way to confirm it. And The Guardian doesn't even get into. They don't provide evidence. So Politico runs with this story today. You really can't make it up. Here we go. A bombshell report in The Guardian on Tuesday claims Paul Manafort, President Donald Trump's former campaign chairman, met directly with Julian Assange, the head of WikiLeaks, several times in the Ecuadorian embassy in London. If true, the ramifications are immense. It means the guy running Trump's campaign met directly with the head of the organization that served as a tool of Russia's intelligence services, distributing stolen Democratic emails in an effort to influence the U.S. presidential election. It could be the proverbial smoking gun that shows Trump's campaign knew it was receiving help from Russian intelligence services and perhaps even aided the operation. Luke Harding and Dan Collins, the reporters behind the Guardian story, do not name their sources, although they claim to have multiple, and they write that they have seen an internal document from Ecuador's intelligence service listing Paul Manafort as a visitor to the Ecuadorian embassy in London. Manafort, for his part, has called the Guardian's report totally false and deliberately libelous. And White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders said, "Certainly, I remain confident in the White House's assertion that the president was involved in no wrongdoing, was not involved in any collusion." While the immediate reaction to the story was a collective, "Wow!" it is fair to take a step back and remain wary. Rather than being the bombshell smoking gun that directly connects the Trump campaign to WikiLeaks, perhaps the report is something else entirely, a disinformation campaign. Is it possible someone planted this story as a means to discredit the journalists? Oh boy. Oh boy. A number of parties in the Trump-Russia circus have an interest in discrediting the media. Russian President Vladimir Putin has solidified his power in Russia by systematically quashing the free press and controlling the message through friendly media outlets, including the likes of RT and Sputnik. Trump, too, has consistently shouted fake news at any story he doesn't like, and has made it a theme of late to refer to the media as the enemy of the people, a term that has been used by dictators throughout time, including to devastating effect by Joseph Stalin. Harding is likely a major target for anyone wrapped up in Russia's intelligence operation against the West's democratic institutions. He has written a book about the Trump campaign's ties to Russia, titled Collusion, as well as numerous articles related to the case, including about the Steele dossier, Russia's plans to help rescue Assange from London and spirit him away to Moscow. So, I'm going to get to the part. Hold on. Oh, excuse me. They must have removed it. So what was so amazing about this is they had in their story saying that Glenn Greenwald worked with WikiLeaks on the Edward Snowden story. That Edward Snowden story that released, secret classified cables exposing the NSA. They said that right here, the correction says, an earlier version of the story incorrectly stated that Glenn Greenwald worked with WikiLeaks to distribute the documents stolen by former NSA contractor Edward Snowden. WikiLeaks did not play a role in releasing the Snowden documents, though a WikiLeaks staffer did help Snowden get to Russia. That line has been removed. Holy shit. Well, that's quite... So basically... Oh, I left out the best part. Excuse me, I left out the best part. The author of this story? Alex Penn? Excuse me, hold on. Alex Finley? The author of this story, Alex Finley? CIA officer. Writing under a pen name. Wow. Yeah, you got to give it to Politico. I got to give it to Politico. I guess now Politico, instead of just regurgitating what the CIA tells them, they're now just handing over their paper. They're handing over their website to the CIA to basically write conspiracy theory stories that a major Guardian fuck-up, that literally 2 days later, there is nobody that can verify this meeting took place between Julian Assange and Paul Manafort. What should be a major journalistic scandal that has the Guardian, frankly, in deep doo-doo. And hey, we all make mistakes as journalists. I've made plenty of mistakes as journalists. Some are small and some are big. But I've never made a mistake where I alleged that a president's campaign manager met with WikiLeaks in an embassy. That's not just a mistake. That's a fucking heart attack type of mistake. So instead of Politico being like, so what's the deal with the Guardian story? There's no verification of this. No outlet can actually verify this. No outlet can find any proof of this. Hell, the Washington Times, which is a conservative outlet, it's gotten so bad that conservative outlets are the ones doing the reporting. Paul Manafort's passports don't show he entered London in all the years claimed by Guardian newspaper when it said he met secretly with Julian Assange. The Guardian said he met with Assange in London in 2013, 2015, and 2016. A review of Manafort's 2 passports showed he entered Heathrow Airport since 2008 on 2 occasions, in 2012 and on another time where the customs stamp year is blurred. It appears to be either 2010 or 2016. So for at least 2013 and 2015, Paul Manafort didn't go to Heathrow Airport unless they flew him in via drone to see Julian Assange. I mean, I guess that's possible. Could have flown him in via drone and snuck in the back of the embassy without anyone seeing, in the most surveilled embassy probably in the world right now. It's possible. Anything's possible. Wow! We got a $100 donation from Anonymous. And then we got $10 from Andrea and $11 from Anna. Thank you guys so much. It's so important that even though we've reached our goal for November, one more person brings us to 450. Hope one more person can contribute while we're live. It's so important that we don't take our foot off the gas. I would love to get rid of gas altogether, but it's so important that we don't take our foot off the gas because we set it at 50,000 because that's how much we need. We definitely need to hit 50,000. So we're not taking our foot off the gas. We have reached the halfway point, but we have to operate with the same urgency. So if you're tapped out, if you've donated too much, that's fine. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell anyone who's progressive, tell anyone who cares about water, pipelines, the environment, police brutality. You know everything we cover. Tell everyone if you can't donate. And if you can't donate, share the GoFundMe. Share it like we just launched it today. It's very, very important. So Glenn Greenwald had something to say about this because the original story incorrectly tried to tie Glenn Greenwald to this conspiracy theory that this Guardian story, right? Politico literally Politico. Let's get this straight. Politico literally had a former CIA agent writing under a different name pen a kooky conspiracy theory that some Russian disinformation campaign planted this story with the Guardian to basically discredit Guardian reporter Luke Harding is his name. I guess Politico's next story is going to be, the new case for the Earth being flat. And they'll have, I don't know. Who's that politician once that said climate change isn't real and showed snow in the halls of Congress? Andy, love these anonymous rich folks. Me too. Really appreciate these anonymous people. Hey, I don't care if you're anonymous. I don't care if you want to give your name. As long as the money's coming, that's what matters. But of course, I'd love to say your name if you want it to be known. We'd be happy to say your name. That's for sure. And we also have new members who just signed up. Thank you, Lionel Gilhow. I hope I pronounced your name right. Lionel Gilhow is a new member to Status Coup, a Coup Day champion at $10 a month. Thanks so much, Lionel. And thank everybody who's been contributing to our GoFundMe. We just got another GoFundMe donation. Holy cow. Now we're going. Quinn Peterson, $15. $10 from David DeShazer. Hey, Jen, I'm not seeing their comments. I hope they're leaving comments because we're not going to be able to give the fleece away if I can't pick a comment. So everybody who's donating, remember, you need to leave a comment while you're donating. And I'm going to read that comment at the end of the live stream, and then we're going to give away a brand new Status Coup fleece. I'm not going to give you mine because it's too sweaty. So Glenn Greenwald had something to say about, first, them improperly putting in the story that Glenn Greenwald, got the Snowden cables through WikiLeaks, which is, I don't know, where is Politico getting this information from? A CIA agent. No wonder it's not true. This is Glenn. Why do attacks on the U.S. media calling it fake news resonate so widely? Because of utterly fabricated and reckless articles like this one from Politico by a former CIA officer allowed to write under a pen name. The whole thing is a fraud. That's number one. And Glenn went on a little bit of a tweet storm. The only point of this article is to invent out of whole cloth a wild conspiracy theory that perhaps Russia-controlled operatives caused The Guardian to publish a false story. It's viral Assange Manafort story in order to discredit Luke Harding for his Russia reporting. The whole conspiracy theory is made up with no evidence. Worse, it relies on blatant fabrications such as the one highlighted here. Everyone knows I didn't work with WikiLeaks to report the Snowden story. It's a lie. But U.S. media outlets are willing to lie if the targets are right. And he highlighted the line that was taken out. Glenn Greenwald, who worked with WikiLeaks to distribute the documents stolen by former NSA contractor Edward Snowden. And by the way, Politico, if you get something majorly fucking wrong, the correction, here's how journalism works. The correction goes at the top of the page, not the fucking bottom of the page. This is the bottom of the page they put this. Oh, by the way, a major point was wrong. No, you put it at the top. That's where I come from. New York Times might put their corrections at the bottom, but I think corrections go at the top, personally. You're not going to grow. You can't be credible if you're not willing to admit when you're wrong and make sure people see it. Not everybody reads. Most people don't read to the end of the story. Do you read every single story all the way to the bottom, folks? Tim Buck, don't forget to report on the banned documentary on the Israel lobby's influence on our elections. That's a good point. I haven't gotten to that yet. Jimmy and Jordan, 2020. Hey, let me tell you something, GTA. I have basically begged, borrowed, and, well, I haven't stolen, but I begged Jimmy, let's do some stuff together. But can only ask so much. Mitch Devi, Jordan, what did Powers say about The Guardian that he worked for? Our interview that's up on the channel happened before this story. Speaking of, we were supposed to have a conversation today, me and Greg Powers, on the phone. I was going to pick his brain, but we didn't get to have that, so I got to follow up with him. So let's continue with Glenn. Politico also allowed this ex-CIA agents to falsely claim that the only people raising doubts about the Guardian story are people who are part of Russia's disinformation network. In fact, as Empty Wheel noted, a wide range of people raised doubts about the story. The U.S. media has only itself to blame for the attacks on it. If you're willing to outright lie like this when it advances your narrative, invent wild conspiracy theories, and malign people as Russian agents, you don't deserve the respect that media outlets demand they receive. In response to a highly dubious Guardian story, Politico allowed an ex-CIA officer to use a fake name to publish demonstrable lies and blame Russia for this potentially huge media scandal. Zero self-critique. Why would a profession that acts this way expect to be trusted? And by the way, Glenn doesn't talk this way. I'm just emphasizing. In less than 48 hours, we went from Manafort secretly met with Assange 3 times in the embassy, The Guardian, to maybe the Russians tricked The Guardian into publishing a fake story. Politico CIA writer. Next, why do people not trust news outlets? It's so unfair. Even 2 hours after I read it, speaking as Glenn, I still can't believe that Politico actually published an article by an ex-CIA agent under a fake name saying that if The Guardian's blockbuster Assange Manafort story is false, it's Russia's fault. Parodying the U.S. media at this point is futile. Yesterday's Politico article by an ex-CIA agent using a fake name suggesting Russia tricked The Guardian into publishing its Manafort Assange story relied on the false claim that I worked with WikiLeaks on the Snowden story to claim I was an agent to claim I was an agent of Russian disinformation. Retracted. And he puts the correction. And Glenn finishes, again, if you publish articles by ex-CIA agents using fake names, allow them to spin inane conspiracy theories with zero evidence, Putin tricked The Guardian into its Manafort Assange story, and include false and defamatory claims, don't be surprised that people don't trust the media. And that's Glenn Greenwald's perfectly correct tweet storm. Perfectly correct tweet storm. Like, and you know what's really dangerous about this, folks? You know what's really dangerous about this? One of the ways that Trump became president, besides Democrats being stupid and running Hillary Clinton, is he set up a real sharp contrast and a sharp boogeyman in the corporate media. And the majority of his attacks on the media are not credible. Basically, Donald Trump cries fake media whenever media actually investigates him and calls him out. So Donald Trump's attacks on the fake news media, his idea of why they're fake isn't actually why they're fake. So Donald Trump saying, oh, fake media, fake media, fake media, it's not legitimate. It's just a way for him to, scream boogeyman and rouse up the crowd and to further us in this post-truth society where facts don't matter, truth is a lie is truth. We're getting to that. That's why it's so important that status quo exists and outlets like it. But what's so dangerous is when the media actually does things like Politico did, it actually makes it seem like Donald Trump is telling the truth. When Politico has a ex-CIA agent right under a pen name, trying to make Glenn Greenwald look like he's worked with Russia back in the Edward Snowden days. That's why they put that line in there, to make it seem like Greenwald has been a Russian agent since 2013. Like, this shit isn't even like, you don't even see plot lines like this in espionage movies. The shit Politico pushed in this story. When the media, obviously media is not a perfect system, and corporate media messes up a lot because they're not real journalists. But when you make a mistake, you correct it and you move on. But when you make mistakes like The Guardian, just breathlessly, I hope that I have egg on my face. I would gladly come on and say, you know what, I was wrong and they were right, and here's the evidence. But we have literally 2 days later, zero evidence from The Guardian. Zero evidence from The Guardian that Julian Assange met with Paul Manafort. And as I said yesterday, if they actually did meet in 2016 when Paul Manafort became Donald Trump's campaign chairman, that would be a big deal. I think Russiagate is overblown, but if actual news comes in that is legitimate, I'm not going to be like, hey, let's all cover our eyes. No, that would be a big deal. If they met in the embassy when Manafort joined the campaign, I would say that's a big deal. And I'd want to know why they met, what was discussed, what was promised, what happened. Because that would be in some ways evidence of some type of coordination. But there's no evidence that that story is true. But CNN breathlessly reported it. MSNBC breathlessly reported it. The New York Times, the Washington Post, the Associated Press, all of them just regurgitated it. And now you have Politico. I mean, what's next? What's next? You're going to have Dick Cheney writing stories for Politico under a pen name? Writing that Saddam Hussein actually did have weapons of mass destruction and offering a screenshot of his receipt from Denny's? Victoria Thomas, what's with all these ex-CIA agents in the mainstream media? Hey, Victoria Thomas, breaking news alert. And this is a book I read. Who gave me this book? Jen, did you give me this book? Do you know that the New York Times, literally, the CIA had agents in the New York Times newsroom in the 1950s and 60s? CIA agents were New York Times writers. That was the thing. The New York Times had CIA agents working as reporters in the 1950s and 60s. Look it up. I just got your email, Nathan, and you will get a sticker. You're going to get a sticker. Thank you. And by the way, for those saying you've donated a few times, we apologize. We have had a little bit of delay of getting you the shirts and the hats, but you're going to get it. But, we're waiting to get all the shirts and hats first. We ordered, but there's been delays, so you're going to get it. And thank Jen, because she's going to be making a lot of trips to the post office. And by the way, does any media outlet want to report that His Holiness Robert Mueller, who they make it seem like Robert Mueller is holier than the Pope? Robert Mueller was the FBI director in the lead up to the Iraq War. Robert Mueller sat in front of Congress talking about weapons of mass destruction. Robert Mueller detained Muslims after 9/11 under the auspices of, national security. Robert Mueller is no different than Dick Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld. He's not some holy patron saint of democracy. But of course, the media's memory goes as far back as this morning. If Robert Mueller lied in front of Congress and helped push weapons of mass destruction, who gives a fuck, right? I mean, I see these segments about Robert Mueller like he walks on water and he pisses gold. This man, YouTube it. He sat there and he talked about Saddam's weapons of mass destruction. This man basically rounded up Muslims after 9/11. I mean, against their civil rights. And by the way, folks, to those of you who came late, make sure, I want you to have a status quo checklist. And we're going to make a graphic for it. As soon as you get in this live stream, I don't care if you're not feeling good that day, press the like button. You got it. Each person has to press the like button. Because if you press the like button, YouTube's algorithm works. The more people that like a live stream, the more people that like our videos. So you also have to like each one of our videos. I mean, if you don't like the video, don't like it. But I assume you like most of the videos. If you could like our live streams, if you could like our videos that we post after, because each time we have a live stream, we then cut it up and post it after the fact. The more you like, the more people can see, the more in the algorithm people see our videos and the larger our audience will get. So we appreciate that if you could do that for us. But honestly, I think we're really entering, folks, the corporate media twilight zone. We are entering the corporate media twilight zone as far as I mean, literally, Politico has CIA agents writing conspiracy fantasies and trying to tie Glenn Greenwald to Russia and say Glenn Greenwald's a Russian agent circa 2013. I mean, as far as The Guardian, in a normal system, in a normal journalistic system, if those reporters that published that didn't have evidence to actually update the story and provide the evidence, they'd be fired by now. Because I know if that were me, I'd be fired. 2 days later, zero evidence of that meeting. And by the way, whether you like Paul Manafort or not, I mean, he's obviously a thug. He's obviously a lying sack of shit. But, I mean, he does have a decent case for libel against The Guardian. So does Julian Assange. So, that's it. That's it, folks. So, Jen, can you tell me who is the winner? Who is the winner of our contest? As a reminder, for the people that donated $10 or more to our GoFundMe while we were live. And right now we're at 25,157. By the way, you know, we've been doing little mini goals. So our overall goal is 50,000, but each month we have a new mini goal. Because, you know, no large goal is reached without setting smaller mini goals on that path. So I'm going away from December 1st through December 9th. So December is going to be a little tougher as far as raising money because I'm going to be lying on a beach for a week, which I need. I was supposed to go away for most of the month of December last year, but then I was let go from the Young Turks, so I unfortunately couldn't take those vacations. So I am taking vacation. To be clear, it's with my money before the conspiracy theories start. My credit card points, to be exact. No company money. None of that. So our goal for the end of December, is $30,000 on GoFundMe. So just under 5,000 more on GoFundMe. And we're going to shift, not totally move away from the GoFundMe. We still got to raise money on the GoFundMe. But our goal is to raise an additional 5,000 on the GoFundMe and get up to 100 members. So right now, Jen, what are we at as far as members? Could you tell me where we're at as far as members, Jennifer? Jennifer Dies. Oh, as I show you my emails, which I shouldn't show you. I don't know how many members we have. I think we have 25? 25 members? I think. I don't know. Going once? Going twice? Going 3 times? I think we have, I don't know how many members we have. I think we have 25 members. So our goal, we want an additional 5,000 to reach 30,000 on the GoFundMe by the end of December. So the end of the year, 5,000 more on the GoFundMe, and to reach 100 paid members. And I think we could do it. It's going to take work. It's going to take me reminding you and trying to sell you on it and get you. So hopefully you could, in addition to your holiday gifts and all that, you could make us part of your budget and become a paid member to Status Coup, which I've already shown you how to do it. So we have right now 25 members. So obviously that's our goal is 75 more members to get to 100 by the end of the year, and then obviously not less than 5,000 now. That would be $4,857 on GoFundMe and 75 new members. So I think we could do it. We're going to have to fight and push every single day. And I want to also, before I go, I want to read you some of the top comments from our GoFundMe as we've gone. So here's 25 top comments for $25,000. Kelly Elaine donated $5. Thanks for putting your heart and soul into the truth. You are a hero. I am not a hero. I am a humble servant, but thank you, Kelly, for your contributions. Lori, and Jen put this together, by the way. Thank you, Jen. Lori Pal donated $5. Jordan is the hardest working man in progressive talk journalism. Well, thank you. Michael Needleman, $10. I trust the integrity of Jordan and his team. He represents a quality of journalism that is steadily in steep decline. Couldn't agree with you more. It's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate, frankly, that a status quo needs to exist because this is what journalism should be. But thank you so much for that kind comment, Michael. Gabriel donated $20. I love the work you do. Keep it up, man. You're the real deal. Thank you. Well, thank you, Gabriel. I appreciate that. I'm just so excited by this color-coded scheme Jen put together. It's so visually appealing. Craig Palmatier donated $10. You're America's true progressive, and don't give up on what is right. Thumbs up, buddy. Thank you. I appreciate that. And trust me, sometimes when you're out in the field amongst the misery, sometimes you say, what am I doing this for? Sometimes you want to give up. Jen has been there. I've been there, but it's just not in me to do that. Deborah, they tried to shut Jordan down, but he wouldn't stay down. Thank you, Jordan and colleagues. Hey, let me tell you something. The reason I didn't stay down is because of the comments from viewers I was getting in December and January. Even when I was being smeared all over the fucking internet with falsehoods and nonsense that isn't true and was never true, it was still getting messages from viewers, even in my darkest hour, that made me get back up. In addition to Jen standing by me and Ty standing by me. Thank you, Deborah. Linda donated $10. Jordan is doing great work. Thank you. Thank you, Linda. Catherine Stevenson donated $25. I appreciate independent investigative reporting. We need it now more than ever. I agree. And unfortunately, the corporate media has way more money than us to do that investigative reporting, but they'd rather just have a food fight on TV while bridging to the next Viagra commercial. Don Hanna says, with $10, I appreciate the effort on our behalf. I appreciate you recognizing that it is for you. It's not for us. Jen and I, trust me, we're not going to get rich in this game, and that's not our goal. Robert Hovey, $20. I am a teacher and believe keeping people educated is the most important thing in this world. I agree with you. And I think, trust me, from the campaign trail and my travels around the country, the majority of people are severely misinformed and uninformed. And that's really troubling. And that's part of why we do this. Big part of why we do this. Britton Gillian donated $10. People in Flint don't deserve to be poisoned. I agree. I don't know if you could see these. They're a little tiny, but I'll read them to you. Stephen Capra, who donated $100. Thank you so much for that generous amount. Jordan, thank you for sharing your talent, time, and energy, your knowledge of the truth, and your sense of humor. With sincere gratitude for your courage to continually put yourself on the line. Thank you, man. Those kind of comments, and of course the financial support is why I do it. And you know, I'm like fighting with myself, to be honest with you. I'm fighting with myself right now because, to tell you the truth, I really, really, really want to try not to bring my laptop on vacation. Because the only way I'm not going to like work at all, like truly not work, or pay attention to Twitter or like unplug, is if I don't have access. If I literally don't have the access, then I can't do it. And I can't get on Twitter and get on YouTube and bug Jen and bug Ty from a beach. So I'm really, really trying to unplug, and I'm trying to force myself not to bring my laptop. So we'll see about that. But thank you for the kind comment. Joseph Hogan, $20. I donated because we need more investigative journalism in America, and it needs to be supported by the viewers and the people they are serving. I could not agree more, and I appreciate you guys recognizing that. Jean Palmer donated $50. She donated a few times, so thank you, Jean. A lot of you donated a few times. This is excellent journalism and the only outlet for this story because most media in this country is corporate-owned and operated. Jaredon is courageous. We need more like him. Thank you, Jean. Hey, I should put these on my next book as acknowledgments. I'm about to cry. Fadi Antun donated $20. So much respect for you, Jordan. Your work is so important. The story on Flint seriously broke my heart. Stay strong. Just wanted to contribute to the cause. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Fadi. Christopher Butcher donated $20. If ever there was a need for journalism with integrity, which is unbeholden to the oligarchy and which makes a positive impact, it is now. Jordan, you and your team carry that ideal with you into journalism and your work, and you're worthy of our support. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Kia Dana, $5. Thank you for doing real journalism for the benefit of Flint residents, Michiganders, and Americans. I appreciate it. Because let me tell you, as Jen could tell you, getting people to pay attention to Flint is it's like a full-time job on top of the reporting. The reporting is one thing. Getting people to pay attention to it after is a whole nother job. It's really a disgrace how little people care about the poisoning of American citizens. And then those American citizens being left to die. And I truly think, folks, you know, a lot of people watch documentaries to be informed and entertained. I just want to give you a warning. The documentary that we're going to release in December is not for the wary. You are going to see things that really, really break your heart. You are going to see things that truly blow your fucking mind that this is happening in America. But I think it's important that you guys see this. And Ty has been up pretty much every single night till 5, 6 in the morning trying to finish editing this documentary. So, Andrea donated $50, excuse me. My heart is breaking and I need Jordan, Jen, and Ty to get back in the field, back to Virginia, stop the pipelines. I would love to go back to Virginia, cover the Mountain Valley Pipeline, which they're still constructing even though they're not supposed to be. Colin Hernandez donated $10. Hey, Jordan, thanks for the work you and everyone at Status Quo do. Keep it up. We need more of this. We will give it to you. Bhavana Limworth, I hope I pronounced that right, donated $5. Status Quo covers news that generally gets no coverage. All the best to you all. We will keep doing that. Adam Kern donated $30. Journalism is arguably the most important aspect of democracy. Jordan Chariton does the hard work and is a step in the right direction to saving whatever's left of our, quote, democracy. I agree with putting that in quotes. We don't have a democracy anymore. Carrie, $110, and you've donated quite a bit. Thank you for your donations, Carrie, and thank you for your believing in us. It is so important to have real journalism and freedom maintained to seek the truth! Exclamation point. Couldn't agree more. And Michael Labash, $5. We love what you're doing, Mikey and Linda. Thank you, Mikey and Linda, and thank you for Jen for putting that together. And drum roll, please. The winner, chicken dinner of today's promotion, who will be getting a fleece, is Andy Paperno. And her comment was, we need Status Quo to fight the status quo to remedy the effects of the mainstream news in our collective brain cells, on our collective brain cells. Fight on. One more time. We need Status Quo to fight the status quo to remedy the effects of the mainstream news on our collective brain cells. Fight on. Couldn't agree more. Andrea, I think you've already sent your address, but if you haven't, email jordan@protonmail.com. We got to order another fleece, and we'll get you that fleece. Obviously, give us your size, too. Give us your size so we know what to send it to you. And thank you, because I know you've donated a few times. It's literally blowing me away, the generosity. But it's not charity. I mean, you're doing this so we could offer you the reporting. And we are going to. I'm going to recharge on vacation, and I'm going to come back so big, so huge, your head will spin. So, I will be back tomorrow for my last live stream before vacation at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Remember, folks, you can become a paid member at Status Quo, statusquo.com. Click on Become a Member. Jen and I are going to continue to burn that midnight oil. We're trying to get our Flint story some more media attention, get some more politicians. Thank you for watching. And remember, most people are not lacking compassion. Most people have no fucking idea what the fuck is going on. Peace out.